the Insiders, and man, are we excited to be here today.
It's a party, baby!
It's Sunday night, and you know what that means. Well, most times anyway, when we can be on here. It's Sunday night with the Insiders, and we are here for our weekly wrestling wrap-up show. And, of course, as always, I am here with my co-host and coordinator of the show, Jeff. What's going on, man? Another Sunday in wrestling and a lot going on.
Lots going on, man. Lots to talk about. Man, we got a lot in this show, but yeah, a lot, just a lot. That's the theme of the night. A lot.
It's another week.
Yeah, another week.
Seems like we say the word a lot whenever we get to do this show, and it just keeps coming. So we're going to start off today. I'm going to, of course, say hello to everyone. We'll go over our schedule for the week, and then we're going to start off today with we gotta talk about the elephant in the room, or the Bray in the room, or the Wyndham in the room, because that happened. Just at about 5:30 this afternoon. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Now I'm going to basically just read the tweets that he put out, and then we'll talk about what we think it might mean, but I'm going to save the most of it for Jeff and for Jody, because they will have a lot more on this tomorrow for Abby's window. So, all right. Let's welcome in some people, and we'll talk about our schedule quickly. We've got James Grant, we have Khalid, we have Shane, we have Alicia, we have James Chadwick. We have Dylan. Hello, Dylan. We have Rabbit Earl 910. Hello. We have Dave Olson. Hello. We have scrolling. We have Deanna. We have Sean Rousset. Hey, Sean. We've got Jeff Samuel. What's going on? How are you? That beat is ill, Joe and Jeff. That's all Jeff doing that. Gave me Beverly Hills Cop and Top Gun vibes, but more eerie. Dana is here. Hey, Dana. We have Larry Bongo from Twitch. What's up? And Michael King is here. All right. So there you go. We have a good amount of people in here to start. Yeah. That's kind of exciting. Yeah. Well, welcome. If you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the like button on the stream tonight, and make sure you hit the notifications button so you're be notified when we have future content. And that this week. So tomorrow, Abby's window. Jeff, we good?
I believe so.
Okay.
If anything changes, we'll get the word out, but I believe we'll go.
Okay. So Abby's window is tomorrow. That has been huge. We had almost 1,000 viewers for Abby's last week. That's big. So you guys are really enjoying Abby's. You're coming out because obviously more and more is happening. More and more, there are people coming back to the shows. There's more and more going on. Bray tweeted today, so you've got to join Abby's tomorrow and find out what Jody and Jeff have to say about these tweets I'm going to read. So be here for that, 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. After that, we've got Impact Wrestling this coming Thursday at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Time with the watch along for the Go Home show, which should be good. They always usually are, and the card for it already is fire. If you came and watched Impact with us last week, you will know they made some amazing matches for this. So don't miss Impact. After the Impact, which is usually the show we do that talks about what we saw, we're going to use that for our pay-per-view prediction show because we have Impact Emergence on Friday. The pay-per-view is already here, so we're going to do our predictions on After the Impact, which will start at 10:15. And then on Friday, we are right back here for Impact Emergence, the pay-per-view. We will start at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Time for that. And, of course, we will do the entire pay-per-view. You guys will have to fill us in because we know that we're going to miss SmackDown. We know we're going to miss Rampage. So you guys will have to keep us filled in. I know you guys can do that. You're all very well-versed with multiple screens. So you'll have to keep us filled in. We probably will see a little resolution to a certain Karrion Kross and Scarlett that we got to see, which was a huge surprise. So I'm sure we'll see some of that on Friday. So, and then we'll be back here next Sunday, right here where we are now, to wrap it all up. So that's our schedule. All right. starting us out, and then we'll go right into the news because we've got a lot to cover. Wyndham tweeted today, and I'm sure you all know. What he tweeted was, wrestling is not a love story. It's a fairy tale for masochists, a comedy for people who criticize punchlines, a fantasy most can't understand, a spectacle no one can deny. Lines are blurred. Heroes are villains. Budgets are cut. Business is business. But it can also be a land where dead men walk, where honor makes you elite, where demons run for office, and rock bottom is a reason to rejoice. Woo! It's an escape, a reason to point the blame at anyone but yourself for 2 to 3 hours, an excuse to be a kid again, and nothing matters except the moment we are in. Wrestling is not a love story. It's much more. It's hope. And in a world surrounded in hate, greed, and violence, a world where closure may never come, we all know a place that has hot and cold hope on tap, for better or for worse. That is his tweet that he put out. Now, some decided to troll him a little bit. He didn't respond very well to those. Someone put out a meme, right? Someone put out a meme, and he responded to that. If you can't read, have an adult explain what it says to you. And then another person complained about the cryptic tweets, and he said it's not meant to be cryptic. It's a reminder to myself and others that need reminding just how special this business is and how lucky we are to have it. Put your microscope and biases aside and read it again, was his response to another tweet that came out. So I thought that was one of the best tweets I think I've probably read in a while. Everybody tried to dissect it right away. I mean, we were doing it too. I kind of, when it first came out, thought it was cryptic as well. He comes out, of course, and says it's not cryptic. So you read words like honor, you read elite, and of course, everybody thought, he's going to AEW. Well, that's not what any of it meant. It's a really nice tweet, Jeff, about a person's love for a business. And I think, I can't read his mind, but I would have to say, I think that what this might also be, and everybody's going to assume it's a return. It's already all over the news. It's on the dirt sheets. It's, whenever Bray is like, what was the name of that company when he talks with E.F. Hutton? Bray is like the new E.F. Hutton, the modern day E.F. Hutton. Look it up. When you look at the commercial, when E.F. Hutton talks, everybody would stop and turn their heads and go like this. People listen. So that is what Wyndham is, the new E.F. Hutton. But I think, Jeff, that this is a really good tweet, especially to put on Twitter, because of all the garbage that's constantly spewed by people that are haters that we talk about on this show. We go into this on our grievances segment, and week after week after week, and yet it continues. And I think really this is just his message. Now, whether he said it was more for himself or whoever, but it's a really, really lovely tweet.
Yeah, I mean, this is, in essence, I see a lot of people saying it's a love letter to wrestling fans. It's why we begin to love it in the first place, or at least we're supposed to. And I think what ends up happening is a lot of times today, people get lost. They get lost in, what rumors they can find out, what the hottest take is on Twitter. Can I trend for a little bit? Can a news site pick my tweet up if I start to say something that's outlandish or something that catches on? Do I get my moment in the sun, so to speak? And this is about loving the essence of the business and loving what it can be and is at times. And, I hope that instead of people getting up in arms about, this is a cryptic tweet, is this, is that, take it for what it's worth. Take it for what it is. It's a eloquently written letter to us fans and others. I mean, that's what it is. So
Absolutely. Yeah. And Yeah, and regardless of what, because we're always looking for that, right? We're always looking for, well, it has to mean something, and sometimes it doesn't. And maybe it's if you want to make assumptions, maybe it's that he's so thrilled about coming back. C just said that. He's tweeted this now as Wyndham, speaking of his love of wrestling, because very, very soon he's coming. And when he does, it will be character, cryptic driven again. I mean, it could just be that he's thankful he's coming back. Could be. I mean, listen, the circumstances that have happened, no one probably saw coming. I mean, no one really knew Vince was going to get involved in a lawsuit. No one really knew that Vince was going to step down and retire. And because of all this, things happen. And you know what? A lot of these wrestlers who were let go probably never again maybe thought they would even be interested in going back there or ever thought they would. Things change. And then, people may feel very grateful. And it sounded like, it does kind of sound like that. James Chadwick says it's a love letter about wrestling. It sounds like it could be that he's very grateful to have it. And I'm sure, listen, when you go out there and you're in front of fans and you hear this from every wrestler you talk to, and Jeff, you've done it, so you can speak to it better than me. But when you go out there in front of people, regardless of whether it's 100 people or whether it's tens of thousands of people, that's a rush. You get a rush from that. And that has to feel amazing. I often wondered, being a music fan all my life, what that must feel like to go. I mean, I've always been a Kiss fan. They used to play in front of crowds they played in Rio de Janeiro in front of a crowd of 100 and some thousand people. That has to be unreal. I don't even know how you can stand on a stage and know you're being watched by 100,000 people and celebrated by 100,000 people. Jeff, like I said, you can speak to it better, but this is something that you're in it, you love it, and that's why so many people want to come back to it. That's why Stone Cold Steve Austin worked his ass off to come back. He didn't have to. He didn't have anything to prove, but he wanted to get back into it, and I'm sure that Wyndham did too. And I know Jody mentioned that. You guys mentioned that on Abby's, that he talked about his love for the business and how he wanted to get back.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's for the fans. Like, if you get into this business, it's for the fans. It's to take your craft, to take your God-given ability and training and put that into entertainment for the crowd. And like you said, I mean, I've been in places where there have been 20 people, and I've been in places where there have been 2,000 people. And honestly, it's the same rush. I mean, if you have two people cheering for you, it is what it is. That rush that you get for going out there and entertaining others, for me, is tremendous. So that's why you see people like Ric Flair go back again and again and again. It's because it's honestly, it's addictive to feel that feeling. So I mean, it's one of those feelings that is really hard to describe unless you're on the other side of it and you get to see, how it makes you feel.
I'd imagine it would be, because and on the reverse side of it, a lot of times you see like musicians and stuff like that, once they're too old to do it anymore, they kind of go downhill. A lot of them turn to something else. They turn to alcohol, they turn to drugs, because they want, they miss that. Even like athletes, football players, baseball, to an extent, when they're done, they miss it. And I can certainly see it. I can certainly see it. Jody's in the chat. What's up, Jody? How are you? Speaking of Abby's window. JB, we got Derek, I saw, joined us. We have Big Dan, Chris Williams. We got a couple more people in, WWE fan. See Wrestling, of course. We mentioned him a couple times. We got Mark in the chat. At the UK show he didn't stop smiling all day. He'd walk across the hall to do two different things, stopped and took pics with kids, even though convention stuff told him not to. Yeah, he shook everyone's hand. He loves it. I can see it. And he knows he lights up around the fans, what he said. He knows people love him. Look, it's it's no secret. Like I said, he's the equivalent of E.F. Hutton. When he puts out a tweet, it goes everywhere. It doesn't just go on Twitter, and he doesn't just trend. All of a sudden, you'll see when you look up his name on Google, all the dirt sheets, boom, 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 boom. He did this. He liked the tweet by Karrion Kross. It became viral. Bray likes tweet by Kross. Boom, 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 boom. He has to know that. He has to know that. Jody said we saved his life too. And it just goes to show you what he feels about the fans. So, I mean, you can have all these awesome returns, which we're going to talk about next. But I hope that and I know he knows, but I hope that whoever is going to consider bringing him back, or has already, for all we know, knows that as well. And you'd have to be really dumb not to, because these bigwigs, whether it be Triple H, Tony Khan, Scott D'Amore, whoever, they have people with eyes on social media at all times. They have to know what he's bringing to the game. Little pun there for the Triple H thing. But they have to know what he's bringing, because if you don't, you'd be insane. I mean, look at all the merch that Karrion Kross got put up right on the WWE shop. The minute he showed up for that last 5 minutes of that program, boom, the WWE shop page full of merch. You don't think you're going to get that with Bray? Yeah. All right, I'm going to save the rest of it, Jeff, but put a pin in that. You and Jody can talk about that all tomorrow on Abby's Window. So join us tomorrow for the rest. You'll hear more from Jody tomorrow, I'm sure, and from Jeff as well about this and all things Wyndham. So join them at 6:00 p.m. and they will go over this way more in detail tomorrow. Let's get more views to Abby's. Can we hit a K? Can we hit 1K tomorrow?
Let's do it.
Share the video, get people to watch, tell them about it. Say, hey, you want to go to a show that's all dedicated to Wyndham Rotunda? Come out and check it out. Have our credit card. Yes. Don't remind me.
I'll put it like this. Every person that's watching right now, that's in chat, invite 5 people that you don't see in here.
There you go.
And let's see if we can get 1,000 views at least tomorrow.
There you go. All right. Okay. We're going to go to the news because, again, we've got a ton to talk about. So we are going to start with the news. We've got some breaking news. All right. What are we starting out with, Jeff?
We've got some major changes in WWE creative, Joe, if people haven't been paying attention.
If your head's been in the sand for this past week, if you were on a deserted island like Tom Hanks in that movie when he crashed and you just didn't have access to TV, radio, internet, anything, I don't know. Maybe there was a thunderstorm that blew through your area and you lost power for the last week. Yeah. There have been a lot of changes in WWE. Of course, Triple H is the head of creative. Of course, we knew about Stephanie and Nick Khan. Bruce Pritchard is not really, he's still there, but he's kind of not, and he's not as involved maybe as he was. They're still saying, too, that there are other people that have been let go from creative, which weren't really talked about. Some people that were there are coming out and talking about things. So it has been absolutely crazy. And we're only just past SummerSlam and into the first 2 shows after. And, oh, my gosh, what a couple shows we got. And you can certainly see the changes that are being made already. C's talking about oh my God. Really quickly, C did a stream, and I think it was the only stream he ever did that was merch concerning when the Burn Fiend mask was released. It was on April Fool's Day too, which made it even goofier. But yeah, and I purchased that mask, and the Burn Fiend mask came out, and of course you saw it and it looked amazing. And I kept putting it in my cart. Now it came to be midnight because it was midnight here. And I put one in my cart, and then all of a sudden you tried to buy it, and it would knock it out of the cart, be like, nope, can't buy it. So then I went back and I did it again. And I tried to buy, because I just figured, well, it must not be going through. You know, like you try to buy a real popular T-shirt and you can't get it because it says it's sold out, or it says not, you know, they can't, that the site crashes, whatever. So I kept doing it and doing it. Next thing I know, it showed that I purchased 3 of them. And I'm like, I near panicked because I'm like, oh my God, because they were like $200. And I'm like, no, I don't want it. So I had to go and check. I was going on the thing, making sure that it didn't hit my credit card. And I'm like, please do not have been that. Don't, because it's not like you just return the stuff. I mean, you can, but it takes forever. And I'm like, so that was that story. That was insane. Yes, I was panicking. It was not a good night. But Jeff, the changes, I think people have to be pretty pleased.
I was having a back and forth DM conversation with someone, and they were saying, you know, I don't like it. They said, I don't like it. I think it's garbage. I think it's this. I think it's that.
God.
And I said, well, let me ask you a question. Why don't you like it?
Yeah.
Well, I don't like the fact that he's just focusing on the women. Like, well, he's not. Let's try that again. And what it came down to is it has absolutely nothing to do with what Triple H is doing, and just the fact that a creative decision was made 15 years ago that they didn't agree with, and now they hate WWE. And it's like, okay, I get it, but just because you got pissed off about something that happened a long time ago doesn't mean that what's being done today isn't pretty good. And this is good stuff. I mean, you can tell the difference already, and I'm liking the direction that they're going in.
Absolutely. I think you might have a little more to say about that. What your topic?
Oh, I got a lot to say.
Jeff was planting seeds. He was segueing into what he's going to talk about on our airing of Grievances tonight. So stay tuned for that too, because that should be really, really interesting. So, but yes, lots of changes. I'm sure there probably will still be. You have some people who are still probably clinging for their lives in that company, and probably won't be around very much longer. So you'll probably still see some more changes. Triple H may bring in some people there. You know, he still has people that were working for him on creative and NXT. You might see some of those people coming in. He might bring other people into that. So it's going to be, you're going to see more and more of this. But listen, so far, can't really complain. He's killing it. Nicole's here. Hey, Nicole, how are you?
What's up, Nicole?
Tony, the women are in good rotation of pushes. It makes a big change when you could rotate top talent. Dalton Riley's here. All right. What's next, Jeff? I think we've got one of those big changes that just oh man.
Yeah, this was pretty big, Joe. Karrion Kross and Scarlett back in WWE.
Raise your hand if you marked out. Well, I can't see you raise your hands in the chat, but I did. I was watching, and I was kind of half paying attention because I kind of was like, the show's going to be over. Yeah, they're doing the Roman Drew thing. They're going to come down. Drew's going to come down. They get a little confrontation. Maybe the Usos will come out. Drew will beat them up and something, and then I did not. Now, I know people are going to say, well, I knew. Baloney. Yes, the dirt sheets were saying that he could be signing, but no one said he was there. Listen, I love this for more than one reason. Number one, I love it because they are raising their hand in the chat. Look how clever you all are.
Yeah.
Alexa Bliss Gamer, look at that. The one reason that I thought right away was they're keeping stuff out of the dirt sheets, because this was not reported. No one said he was backstage. No one said Scarlett was backstage. So they kept it away from them, and I love it. I don't know how they're doing it. I don't know if they hid them when they brought them in. I don't know, but I love it. So that was the first thing. But when I heard that music, I kind of, like I said, I was kind of half paying attention. I heard that music, and I'm like, And I looked at the TV and I'm like, what? And I saw Scarlett's silhouette, and I'm like, no freaking way. And all of a sudden you see her come down, and I'm like, this is insane. And he's coming down. Oh, he's not just coming after, some mid-carder. He's coming down for the main eventer. He's coming down for the guy who has the titles. She puts the hourglass into the ring with Roman. Roman's with the look on his face, like, I get to have that little kind of half pissed off smile that he has sometimes, but what I noticed was sometimes he'll look at it with that kind of like, you're nothing to me. He didn't look at it that way. He had a very confused look on his face, and it just, man, he just destroyed Drew.
Yeah.
With that, we've seen that before. That move that he used on Finn a few times with that arm that he gets to the back of the neck, just devastated Drew McIntyre. And he looks great. I love he has a different look to him with the hair. I love it. He looks menacing. And that was spectacular. Huge surprise in the last 5 minutes of the show that I would almost bet no one expected. And if they say they did, yeah, okay. But what a huge return. This guy was named as one of the people that everyone wanted back. And now, Jeff, we get to see one of the coolest freaking entrances ever in a pay-per-view, which is going to be Clash at the Castle. And I am so psyched up for it.
Man, listen. The fact that he's back, the fact that he's on the main roster and Scarlett is with him.
Yep.
Let's remember that debacle where we were like, oh, he's up on the main roster. Where the heck is Scarlett?
Yep.
And people kept calling for it. So the fact that he's on the main roster with Scarlett is a good thing. Man, this was such a cool moment. I didn't get a chance to see it on Friday night, but I did watch it with my son the next day, and he was like, "Oh, Dad, who's this?" Because he's just getting into wrestling and he hasn't seen Karrion Kross, and it's like, son, you're gonna enjoy this.
Yeah.
So, he was a little bummed because Drew was one of his favorites, but he was like, "Man, that dude is cool, Dad."
He certainly is. And some people are saying he looks like that Karate Kid guy. He does. That Mike Barnes from Karate Kid 3, he does. Yeah. With the stubble and the mud. He does. And even his face a little bit. But what a moment for him. Could you imagine getting that call?
Oh, man.
He's been gone. He's been in MLW, right? And he's been gone from WWE. Can you imagine getting that call from Triple H? Triple H being like, so we effed up. And we'd like to have you come back. And we'd like to have you come back with Scarlett. And we'd like to have you come back and put yourself right involved in the heavyweight title picture. What do you say?
Let me think about it. Okay.
Wow. And this had to, yes, we saw Bayley, but everybody kind of knew Bayley was on her way back. We saw Io Sky. Now that was a surprise. Dakota Kai was a surprise because she was unsigned. But everybody, but seeing this really had to make people believe that, wow, anything can happen. And I don't know if you read it, Jeff, but did you see Drew McIntyre's tweet?
I read it. I'm trying to remember what it says now. I don't have it pulled up.
I'm gonna pull it up quick because he talked about hold on, let me pull it up. It was hilarious and it was beautiful. It really was. It was really, really, really smart. Let me see if I can find it.
I definitely remember how he ended it.
I can't pull it up right now, but he talked basically about I've had better Fridays.
Yeah.
And he said, did I just get beat up by the guy that used to wear the leather and the shoulder pads and I'm like, oh my God, that's fantastic. So a big diss to Vince or whoever the creative was that made him look like a really bad version of Demolition. And that's in the past, gone, out of here. So, wow, absolutely fantastic. And I think it's great. What's it going to be? I don't know. We might get a triple threat, and it certainly looks like that's what it could be. People are speculating, well, how are they going to do that? Are they going to break up the belts? Now they're saying USA wants a title. Maybe they do, and maybe they're going to make some moves. Maybe Roman goes to Raw with the one title, and maybe Drew or Karrion get the other, and maybe Karrion maybe Karrion's going to get into a program with Drew since he took Drew out. We're not really sure, but either way, it's pretty awesome. And I was just shocked and amazed to see him back. James tweeted, thank you. He said, was I just jumped by the guy last seen wearing bondage and a helmet? I've had better Fridays. Fantastic. So exciting. Such an amazing moment. They both look awesome. The hourglass has been given to Roman, and it's TikTok time. So loved it.
Good stuff.
All right, moving on. What do we got next, Jeff?
All right, SummerSlam, the recap.
SummerSlam was really, really, really good. It was a fun show all the way through. We had, of course, like I just mentioned, we had the surprise returns right off the bat in that very first match. Of course, we had Becky get injured, which was unfortunate because they probably had some big plans for her with Bianca Belair and going up against that trio. We had a fantastic, and people are saying it was the best match between Brock and Roman ever done. And I'd be hard pressed to doubt them. We had him come out with a tractor and pull up a ring and roll Roman Reigns down the other side of the ring like a marble. So we had Pat McAfee and Corbin, who had, and of course, you saw SmackDown last night. He went over and over again about how well he kicked him in the balls. So that was good stuff. It was a good show. You can turn around and look. The crowd was fired up, which was tremendous. The crowd really didn't come down much. The other thing was, it was the first time that they did not have piped in crowd noise, which is good too. And you can kind of see that, people are saying, oh, so, some of the stuff was really dead. Raw was really dead. Remember, you're not getting piped in noise anymore. So now it's just genuine crowd noise. So yes, it's not going to constantly sound like, oh, everybody's screaming all at once, because that's not realistic. So you'd have a lot of hoarse people who couldn't talk after 3 hours. So I think it's cool. But yeah, Jeff, I really enjoyed SummerSlam. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, I thought that show was amazing, man. I thought SummerSlam was tremendous. We started out hot, and with returns like that, Bayley returning from injury, EO from contract obscurity and everything that was going on there, and then Dakota Kai from being released. And then we were, it's kind of like, well, how are you going to end the show? How are you going to top that moment? You had some great matches in between those, but how do you end the night? Brock Lesnar lifting up the ring and Roman just tumbling out.
Oh my God.
Was some of the best stuff I've seen in wrestling.
So funny.
I mean, it was so good. So good. And those two guys beat the heck out of each other. And at the end, Roman's just laying everything in, and it's just like, stay down. And he did everything he could. And shout out to Paul Heyman.
Yes.
Paul played dead.
Oh, man, he did. He played dead so much he couldn't show up on SmackDown last night.
Man. He sold it all the way until now. I mean, he's still selling it.
He's in the hospital, apparently.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean, shout out to WWE. Top to bottom, from the production folks all the way up, and in between. It was tremendous, man. It was a great show, and I hope that this Clash at the Castle is just as good.
I think we're in for a good one because that's the first time they've been there in a long time. I think they're really going to want to put on a big show. Those of you, I know there are some of you guys that watch our show that are going to that. Oh my God, you're going to probably see an amazing show. You guys, think about it. You guys are going to be the first to see Kross back in a match, more than likely, because I don't think he'll have one before that. Maybe, but you might be the first to see that. You might also be, and I know nothing of the sort, but you might also be the first to see one Wyndham back in a ring. So how amazing is that? Man, yowie wowie. That's indeed. Indeed. Yes. So those of you who are going, man, enjoy it, because it could be a once in a lifetime. It could be it's first pay-per-view fully booked by Triple H. It could be this could be a once in a lifetime thing. Enjoy it. Awesome. Can we mention the word bands are gone? Yes, the word bands. Yeah, no more word. Yeah. They're allowed to say wrestler. Yes. As I said, things are changing. Chris says, I'm thinking a three-way dance for Clash. It could be. It could be a triple threat. Yeah, could be. Don't make C do a review. Just say Wyndham's name. All right. Moving on. What's next?
What's up, Gus? By the way.
Hey, Gus.
All right. So we got a split in AEW.
We did. Don't let anyone ever say that we don't talk about AEW or we hate them, because because we do. And I watched the show. And this was, I'll be honest, I was waiting for Kenny Omega. Yeah. I was waiting for Kenny Omega because there are rumors that he's ready to come back or coming back soon. I thought for sure you were going to hear his music hit. He was going to come down, but yeah, they'll probably want to save that for another time, like a bigger pay-per-view or something like that. But I thought for sure he was going to come down during this. Of course, Adam Cole and the Undisputed Elite, of course, is no more. The Undisputed Era, of course, turns. The Young Bucks got clobbered and beat up, and down came Hangman Page for the save. So a reunion between Hangman and the Bucks, and obviously going up against Adam Cole, Bebe, and his team there as well. So, yeah, this is big.
Yeah.
The one thing that and those who are AEW fans and you watch the show week to week, the one thing that I would say that you would want to, I probably think you'd want to see out of this, and maybe Jeff, you can kind of answer this as well. What are they going to do to get people to now like or get on the side of the Young Bucks? You built them up as a heel team for a long time. Now you've got to turn that around, and people love Adam Cole. You've got to turn it around now, and you've got to get heat on the Young Bucks. So they've done it before. They went, when they were with Kenny, so not they can't do it, but they really have to do things. I don't know. Bully Ray mentioned Busted Open. Maybe get the Bucks to be, have them get beat up, like really beat up. Take away one of their big moves, the super kicks. You do something to their leg, Bully said. Something along those lines to get the, to get them, people being sympathetic for them. But I think that's the one thing that's going to be interesting to watch and see how they progress with this, because, it's a big switch. And now you're going to start. This could be tremendous. The matchup of these two teams could be tremendous. And that's the only thing I could see that might get in the way.
I mean, I think, again, that idea, that's actually what I was thinking, is have them get beat up. I mean, have them be the targets of it.
Yep.
And, they're going to get that sympathy from the crowd, from the fans. They're going to get it. They can do this. I mean, they've done it before. It's just, do fans think it's something that's sustainable? Do they think that it's going to be something that lasts for a while? Or do they turn on Hangman again? Like what's going to happen with that? But I think they can do it. I mean, I would have them just get the crap kicked out of them over and over again, and until they can raise those trios titles.
Yes. Yeah. Those trios titles look awesome, by the way.
Yeah, I like them.
People are talking about Liv. Yeah, that was kind of weird too. On a little side note there, that she got booed. Was a little weird. Maybe we can mention that a little bit at the end of our segment. We'll go through our next two because Jeff, I'd like to know your thoughts on that. Actually, oh well, you know what? Let's just get out of the way. Liv Morgan got booed. If you didn't watch SmackDown, and really quickly because we didn't have this plan. There's no graphic or anything. We're just going off the cuff really quickly. It almost seemed to me, Jeff, like the people didn't like her answer to how she won that match.
Right.
And how, it almost seemed like they didn't enjoy that answer. And then I started to think to myself, would they be, I don't want to see Ronda become I don't want to see her stay a babyface. She's not good at it. She's better as a heel. I'm sure that's where they're going with it. She snapped after the match. That's a classic thing. Now she's gone. She's going to come back as somebody different. So I hope she comes back as a heel. She's better at it. But I don't know. I was really shocked that they did this. Then I started to think to myself, would it be all that bad of a thing if Liv became a heel? I could see her do it. I could really see it. She has that in her to be that cocky. I could see it. Mm-hmm. So I don't know that I'd be that opposed to that if that's the way that they want to go. But the crowd was weird though, because then a little bit later they were cheering for her. They were chanting her name, Liv Morgan, Liv. So it probably wasn't anything big, but it was odd. I don't know what you thought of that. If you saw it, I don't know what you thought of it.
I'm gonna blame it on the location and say it's Greenville, South Carolina fan base that came there. Because like you said, later on they were cheering her on. So
yeah,
I think here's what I think. You take that information that you got from that, if you're Triple H and the creative team, and you just kind of store that in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
Wait until you go to your next city. Is it happening at live events? If it becomes a pattern, I would take what you said and run with it and turn her and plant the seeds and say, this is how it was all along.
Yep.
I had to fight my way to get here. I had to do this. I had to do that. And then when I did what I could to keep the belt that all of you wanted me to get, what do? You start booing me. Turn it, flip it that way. It's a good story that's waiting to be told.
Very good story. Yeah, that would really be cool. Rhea Ripley wants to live in her faction. See, that's interesting to me because you put her in a faction group like that, they can almost like protect that belt.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm telling you, it's not a bad idea. And listen, don't put it past, because see, this is where things are going to be different. With creative, with McMahon in charge and everything like that, it was very straightforward. It was very blah. It was very, you didn't really, there weren't any surprises. You didn't not see what was coming. Maybe they wrote this up a little bit. Now I'm giving a lot of credit to creative, but maybe they wrote this in and had her go out there and act a little more pompous. Just saying, they could have written it in, but we'll see. Like Jeff said, we'll see. Hey, Noob and Co., how are you? Liv could potentially replace Alexa if Bray brought back the Firefly Funhouse. Remember, she is dating Bo Dallas, and she's been fan casted in this female sidekick role before. Best thing about Triple H, he's responsive. He'll book on the fly and do what's best at the right time. Vince waited months to make changes and was always too late. Yes, like they protected Roman. Took 3 people to take down Brock. Very true. Okay, what do we got next, dude?
All right, let's go back here. So we have another AEW topic. Madison Rayne is coaching and apparently competing in AEW.
Yeah, that was a big surprise to me. When I heard about this, obviously, Madison's great. She's been a big part of Impact for as long as we've been watching and longer. And yeah, it's gonna hurt. It's going to hurt them. The women's division, they've got a good bunch of up and comers that they just brought in recently. But yeah, Madison was great in that tag team. And it sucks to lose her. But they hired her as a coach, of course, and which that role I'm sure she'll excel for AEW. And she's also going to compete. So yeah, listen, she's an asset to wherever she goes. I wish her nothing but the best. She was a staple on Impact Wrestling for as long as we've been watching it or doing the watch along. She's been there almost every single week. And you don't see that with it, just with almost everybody, but she's been, whether she's been doing backstage segments, she was involved in some of those, those wonderful skits that they do, Wrestle House, things like that. So she was always there. And it's kind of sucks when you lose somebody like that that's been with you for a while. But good luck to her. She, whatever it was, they appreciated her efforts and they put her in the office. She's going to be a coach and she's going to be allowed to wrestle as well. So, one person's lost, another person's gain, and hopefully, fingers crossed, but hopefully she gets the women on AEW more time and more attention. I don't know if it'll happen, but I hope that that's what happens.
Yeah, we'll talk about this a little bit later in another segment, but good for her. Good for her. It's a huge loss for Impact. She's been a cornerstone of their Knockouts division for years, but good for her to get that opportunity now. And this is something I believe she's wanted to do from things that I've read. She wants to have more of a backstage role, but where it makes sense, have her compete like like we're going to. So, kudos to Tony Khan. I've got to give credit to Tony Khan because, a lot of people, a lot of fans get caught up in the whole Booker of the Year nonsense and all that stuff. But in order for you to run a company effectively, there's a point where that you get to where you have to realize I can't do it by myself. And I think once people get to that point, then they realize that, hey, if I spread the wealth, if I allow others who have expertise in these areas to come in and be a part of this, then that's only going to make my product better. And I think this is an opportunity to do that because this wasn't the only change that they made that they announced in that press release. I think they, did some things with Tony Khan. I mean, not Tony Khan, Tony Schiavone, Pat Buck, QT Marshall. There were some other, changes that they made as well. So, I hope that this restructuring of sorts is them saying, okay, we realize that we have a really good product. We have a chance to have a great product. If we make some changes, this thing could really take off.
Yeah. Listen, you can't stay stagnant anymore. They probably knew, or at least thought, that, we have the momentum now. With the stuff that Vince was doing and everything that was happening and creative was doing in WWE, it seemed like it was getting better since the start of this year. And now the game, another Triple H pun, but the stakes have been raised. And they know that. They know that. They may not be watching the program, but they've got people who are. They're seeing all this happening. They're seeing the stuff with these surprises coming back. They're seeing Karrion Kross coming back. They're seeing things changing. The game is they have to up the game. And, their fan base loves them, which is great. But you're always looking to try to get more and more. So, sometimes, you have to take a look at it as an owner and say, okay, I got to do, the game is changing the game. Yes. Sometimes I've got to do some things. I got to shake some stuff up a bit. Get more eyes on the product, get things, get more people involved in the back who can kind of maybe help me where I might be missing things. So yeah. We'll see how it goes. Putting the women's match in first hour of Dynamite was tremendous. That Rosa Tony versus Hayter Britt tag match was great. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was good. I just think they have to, they're a 2-hour show. I just think one women's match isn't enough. They've got so many more athletes there, women that are great. You got to have more than one match. They you gotta have them involved in other places, and not just a promo here and a promo there, but they got to be shown on TV. That's, to me, that's my opinion anyway. AEW better step up. Triple H ain't playing. No, he is not. No, he is not. All right, Jeff, what do we got?
All right. We go from a person leaving Impact to figuring out and finding out that not only did we get a date for Bound for Glory, but we found out that Bound for Glory is going to be in Albany, New York.
Which happens to be minutes from where Jeff is.
Dude.
Yeah, Jeff marked out a little bit when he found this out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and apparently Jeff sent me a text the very next day that said Heroes Hideout is working with them for this. Now, what that means, so Heroes Hideout is that company where Jeff had just gone, the place where Jeff had just gone to have the autograph signing with Lex Luger and Bret Hart, and when he took his son. It's also the place that had the wrestler signings for Wyndham when Wyndham went up there. Mm-hmm. So my guess would be that they're probably going to announce that there's going to be some kind of major Impact Wrestling meet and greet that's probably going to happen either the day after, the day before, something along those lines. So they may have countless number of people there that they may be doing that with. So yeah, that's going to be amazing too. I'm 3.5 hours away from Albany, but I'm seriously considering going. It's in October. It's the weather shouldn't be an issue. It's cooler then, of course. But yeah, I think it's going to be an event. And especially now that they're partnering with them, it's pretty exciting. And of course, Jeff's right there. So Jeff said he's going. He's going. And, yeah, I mean, Impact is, they've got smaller crowds, but if you go live, there isn't a bad seat in the house.
No. And
you always feel, at least that, and I've heard this from people. I've heard people that went to the events recently. Some of the people who are friends of ours that have gone, that said it was the best live show they've ever gone to, because they always felt like they were right in the middle of everything, regardless of where you are, because it's much more intimate rather than being stuck in a crowd of 20,000 or 10,000 or people. So yeah, that's I'm seriously considering going. So maybe both of us will be there. We'll see.
Yeah.
But I know Jeff's excited about it.
Yeah, I'm so excited about it because I was excited before I knew the Heroes Hideout piece. Like I was already pumped about it. I was like, yeah, I'm going. But when I found that out, that adds to it. And I went yesterday to Heroes Hideout because my kids have to go there every time to get a wrestling figure now to add to the collection.
You created a monster.
I created a monster. But I went there and I signed up for their VIP program, so I get early access to all of that.
Smart.
So I was like, since it's coming, I have to. I have to sign up for this thing so I can find out what's going on. The guy said that they will be releasing information, in the coming week. So I'm so pumped up for it. And if they do that big meet and greet, I can tell you that my son wants to meet the Machine Guns. He said it. He said I want to meet Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin. I have to do it. He wants to meet Moose. He wants to meet Josh. I mean, this is going to be huge. So they normally do really good with meet and greets at their shows, but if they do something big with Heroes Hideout, this could be huge, man.
All I know, and I told this to Jeff, if I find out that Rosemary, Killer Kelly, and or Mickey James are going to be there. Yeah, Joe's strapping booster rockets to my back, and I will be there. I will be there. That would be absolutely, not to mention, like Jeff said, everyone else. I mean, Josh Alexander. There's so many people that I love in Impact Wrestling, and that would be absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'm anxious to see what it's going to be, and anxious to see what's going to go on. So yes, James, I know. You always have a wrestling crush. She's vaulted up the ladder very quickly. Yeah, I love the gimmick. I love that. She's freaking awesome. Plus, she liked the post I put out, so that doesn't hurt either. So Jeff pointed that out to me. I didn't even know. When you told me that, I had no idea.
Really?
I'm like, what? I didn't know. I didn't look at it, and then I went back and I'm like, don't. But yeah, that's. People always gripe about Impact smaller crowds. I'd rather have 500 to 800 lit fans and 15,000 sitting on their hands so bad you have to pipe in. You're right.
Yeah, I like.
Yeah,
I
nothing
agree.
wrong with that. Nothing wrong with an intimate crowd. Nothing at all. I'm not quite Tazzy level that way. I just you get a little starstruck from time to time. I'm not Tazzy level though. He's got me beat there. So all right.
I told Joe, just to peek behind the curtain. I did tell Joe that I was glad that I work in healthcare now, because if all three of them are at the same show, we might need to get Joe some help that day.
You might have to wheel me in. I might have to be on like permanent oxygen. I might need an oxygen tank. Because could you imagine if they're all at the same damn table?
Oh man, that would be crazy.
Jeff would have to take pictures because I'd probably be speechless. And then I'll be like an idiot, and I'll just be standing there. I'll be standing there like holding my whatever it is they're gonna sign. I'll be like, yeah, yeah. It'll be bad. But yes, so that's exciting news, and very exciting that I don't know what we're gonna do. We'll have to see if we can get subs for us. If obviously if we're both there together. We'll have to get together with some kind of a quick video or something on our phones, whether it be outside the arena, whatever the case might be. So we'll do something like that, but obviously we wouldn't be able to have the watch along. Maybe we'll see if we get subs. Maybe we'll see if Tazzy can sub in, or maybe Conrad can sub in or something like that, and see if we can get it out there for you guys. And you'll have to look for us. We'll be wearing insiders gear for sure.
Yeah.
We'll be you know what, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to get poster board. And I'm going to write sell or no sell. Sell or no sell is ours. OURS. I'm going to write it on a poster board. Nobody will stop me from doing it because they won't have a clue what the hell I'm talking about. So, yes. All right. Moving on. I believe, Jeff, that it is time for everyone's favorite segment of the show. It's that time. It's that time.
It's the airing of grievances. So here you go, folks.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now you're going to hear about it.
Oh, now you're going to hear them. Yes, you are. And there we are in pop vinyl form. And the floor is Jeff's this week. Jeff's got some stuff to say, and the floor is yours, my friend.
All right. Well, I'll start with the nonsense that we kind of got into last week during SummerSlam, and that's everything that happened with Sean Ross Sapp. And it's not really about Sean Ross Sapp or the other guy that I don't even remember his name at this point because it's irrelevant. It's not even about that. It's about grown behind people getting so worked up and so bent out of shape over something that shouldn't spark the hatred that it does. And, professional wrestling is something that I fell in love with as a kid. And a lot of people have that story. They fall in love with that as a kid. And nowadays you get these writers and journalists, and you get these people who have, a podcast. I mean, so many people have podcasts now. So, I mean, it is what it is. Then you get these news organizations that write and break these stories and do all these things, and everyone wants to be first, and everyone wants to, you know, to get their name out there. But has it really gotten to a point where we have to fight or threaten physical violence, because we want to be right? Well, yeah, I use that word loosely, RK Shuttleworth. I use that loosely, journalist. You do have to have some journalistic talent to write some of these stories. So there are some legitimate writers out there, and I'll say this: credit where credit is due. Sean Ross Sapp is one of those guys. I mean, I do. He is good at what he does. No doubt about it. From what people were saying, the other guy was a bit of a racist and a bunch of other things. I don't know. I just know that it wasn't a good look for either one to be out there and at an event where it's supposed to be about fun and having a good time, and we're talking about beating each other up, about something that happened on Twitter of all places. Um, the last thing, and I'm done with that because I don't even want to give it any more. Um, I don't want to give it any more credence at this point. The other thing I want to talk about is at this point, let's admit that WWE has turned the corner. Let's just admit it. It is what it is. Yeah, TurboCast, thank you. Um, let's just admit it. They have turned the corner. That has absolutely nothing to do with AEW. It has everything to do with WWE realizing that the direction that they were going in was not the direction that they wanted to go in. And it wasn't the direction that the fans wanted the product to go in. Regardless of how we got here, we're here. At this point, Triple H is doing a bang up job heading this up. We're here now. It's a new era of WWE. Has nothing to do with another company at this point. But everyone wants to make it about AEW versus WWE. And I'm so sick and freaking tired of it because it's all you see. It's all you see. Karrion Kross returns. Oh, well, I saw somebody say something to the effect of they're just copying what Tony Khan does. It's like, no, Triple H said that he was going to right the wrongs that were done. They should have never released Karrion Kross. A lot of the people that have been released over the last 2 years should not have been released. That's it. The other thing is, and this is what people don't understand, a good WWE is good for AEW. It's good for all wrestling fans. All of us, because now we have viable options. We have legitimate options. It's not just watching a show for 3 hours hoping that it doesn't stink or hoping that you don't fall asleep halfway through it. We have good products now. Storylines make sense. People are back that we want to see. We don't see the same old stuff, the same old tired stuff every single week. We don't see 37 rematches. So for the people that say, well, this sucks, this is stupid, I'm not going to watch because of this, there's two questions that I want to ask you. And then I'm done. Question number one. What did WWE do to you personally that turned you off to the point where you just have nothing positive to say? Question number two. Have you truly given it another chance? Or are you just searching for reasons not to? And I'm done.
Great stuff. Listen, I can totally see that last part of what Jeff was talking about. I see it. I see it with people that I knew. They were so angry at one company, at WWE, for not giving them certain content that they wanted, that over and over and over again, they got disappointed after disappointed after disappointed, that when AEW came out, it gave them something else to watch. And that's fine. Listen, it's good. Competition's good. It's a good thing. And that's what Jeff said there. It's a good thing. When WCW was out, WWE got better. And that's what it's supposed to do. So that's fine. But then it doesn't need to be where you know, all of a sudden now that you're liking this other show, that's fantastic. Great. But it doesn't need to be where then you have to go on Twitter and you have to shit on the other person's product. You don't have to. Listen, just be freaking happy that you have a show you can enjoy. That wasn't the case 5, 6, 7 years ago. So just be happy that you've got something that you can enjoy. But, you know, it just comes back and I see that, like I said, in people that I know. And I know that they were upset because, well, this person didn't do this storyline, or this person didn't win a title, or this person, you know, I'm sick of Roman Reigns, or and then they go and they watch something else, but now they turn around and listen. I'd love to know how many of those people, those so-called haters that go on Twitter and bitch about everything WWE, I would love to know if they're actually watching the show, because I'll bet you they are. And I'll bet you they're not complaining all of the time. They might go on social media and complain to get their voices out there, but I can bet you they're probably enjoying it, and they can admit it. So, yeah, it's really just, oh man, it really is just silly. You know, one should elevate the other. That's what it should be. You have a second company that's out there that's relevant now and have their own fan base. Now, the fan bases are a little different. AEW's fan base is on the younger side. They're more of where I was when WCW came out in my 20s. And, you know, that's, you know, so the fan bases are different. They do different things, but that should be good for everybody. What's the problem? What's the problem? So, yeah, great stuff, man. Great stuff. And again, I think it's only going to get better. And you know what I like too, and we didn't discuss this on the news, but not only are they getting better with the product, they're also catching things, and they're trying to course correct. Did you happen to notice, guys, that we haven't seen Omos? Did you happen to notice we haven't seen Lacey Evans? Did you happen to notice we haven't seen Kevin Owens? Well, word came out today that Kevin Owens is getting a new storyline written for him and worked up. Lacey and Omos, well, they really no plans for them right now, and I'm not shocked why that is. Lacey's thing was crazy, and I said this too. She came in, she had these great promos, fantastic promos, where you're getting sympathy for her, and then they just have her turn right back into the same old character she was, wearing military uniform. So what the hell were the promos for? And Omos, they didn't know where to go with him. They didn't know what to do with him. So now those people aren't on TV. That's not to say that they're going to dump them. I don't think they will. But I think they're going to rework them and tell creative, okay, you know, we got to find, maybe they'll be on live for a little bit. Maybe they'll, you know, but we got to rework them. We got to figure out what we need to do, because this isn't working. And that's good. Change course, correct it. That's good. You know, not saying that, you know, because in the past you probably would have seen those three wrestlers, or two of the three might have been gone. I don't think that's going to happen anymore. So good stuff. Good stuff. Lacey was so good. Like, yeah, Lacey's great. It's just that didn't work because they confused the hell out of everybody. Do you remember when Lacey was in the crowd? She came out in the military outfit. She was in the crowd. She was, you know, that one guy was staring right up at, well, you know, hey, oh, but I mean, she's great, but they confuse the hell out of everybody with her. Mm-hmm. So stop it, course correct, repackage, have her go on. Maybe she'll move. Maybe she'll go to Raw. Have her appear on Raw. Change it up. Keep her off TV for a little while, because you can't just, when you screw up, you can't just have the person go back out, because the crowd's still going to react to her the way they were. They're still going to be booing her. So you got to leave it go a little bit. Robert Roode could be another. Yeah, you know, you still have a lot of this talent. Look at SmackDown. Look at Ricochet. Ricochet led off that show in what was a fantastic match with Corbin. You know, they're going to give these Gunther. They're going to get these guys pushes. Shinsuke. Guys like this, they're going to benefit from this. And you're going to see, who doesn't want to see Gunther and Shinsuke Nakamura? That's a hell of a match. So, yeah, listen, it's exciting. It really is. And they should elevate AEW, and things are just going to be a lot better. Well said, Jeff. Great segment, man. Loved it. Loved it.
Thank you, man.
There you go. That is our grievances for this week. Hope you enjoyed it. And, of course, we will return next week with some more grievances, which I'm sure we will find during the course of the week.
Oh, yeah. We'll have something. Don't you worry.
It's like death and taxes. It's a constant. So, yes. All right. We're moving on. 57 people out there. Look at you.
Awesome.
Look at you. We're glad to see you guys on this show. This show used to be our least watched show, and this probably is more of our bread and butter than anything else that we do. We love doing the watch-alongs and stuff like this, but this is like where we originated, just kind of chatting and talking about pro wrestling. So it's awesome. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate that. Did you see the tweet that Miro liked on Twitter? He may have a grievance. I did not. Uh-oh.
Oh no, what was it? Send it over. I want to see what it is.
Yeah, let's
Oh boy.
Miro is not one to not speak his mind. So what is it? Let me see if I can pull up Miro.
Man.
Miro. To be Miro. What did he say?
Oh boy.
Is it the earn my spot thing? I'm heading to Pro Wrestling Championship, aka PWC, to earn my spot. The Indie Redeemer. Which one is it? See, let us know.
Shane said, "Oh gosh, he liked
Miro liked the tweet that he had it better in WWE."
Oh gosh.
Oh.
Oh
boy.
That's not good. Oh boy.
Oh yeah, he did too, and it's the most recent one. It says it's from somebody named Adam. Are you still in AEW? Seems like he had it better in WWE, and he liked it.
Dang.
Yikes.
Well,
righty then. Well, it's time to move on.
It's gonna be an awkward conversation. All right, let's go to sell or no sell here. First topic, Joe.
Yes.
The changes in WWE thus far have restored faith in WWE's product. Sell or no sell, chat, play along, please.
Absolutely, 100%. No doubt in my mind, I am selling this. Yes.
I love it.
Yes. How can you not? listen, with the little bit of stuff happening, but see, it's not just in the talent that's coming back, because that's a big part of it, but it's also the changes that were made in some feuds, the changes that were made on the way the shows are done. You notice, like I said, you noticed a couple of those people that weren't there. You notice that certain things aren't on the shows anymore. Also, there hasn't been any 24/7 stuff going on, which ended up being just crazy and weird after a while. So yeah, how can you not say in just this little bit of time? Yes, things are changing, and I think the chattel agrees. Yeah, sell. Hey, Christopher, how are you? Triple H being in charge, feelings are that it may sway folks back. Big sell. How can you not? You could see it just in the small sample size that we've had, and we haven't even touched anything yet. Triple H is, like C said earlier, is writing this entire show coming up at Clash at the Castle, which is gonna, I think, be big. This show, I think, is gonna be bigger than the Saudi stuff that we normally get. And I think you're going to see with Triple H emphasis on maybe some pay-per-views that weren't given their due in the past. I think you might see a big emphasis on Survivor Series this year, and much more in the way of a traditional Survivor Series than we are used to. So absolutely sell it, Jeff. No question.
That's a very interesting conspiracy theory that C Wrestling has, but I'm gonna sell it too.
Yep.
I love it.
I'm gonna read this. This is interesting. Conspiracy theory. Vince knew crap was going to hit the fan, so him and Nick gutted the company to make fans hate it. Then when Triple H and Stephanie take over, just some small changes feel major. That's interesting. And I'm a conspiracy theorist, so. Larry Bongo saying no sell, as I never lost faith in the WWE product in the first place. I was happy before, happy now. Okay.
Good for you, dude.
Okay.
Good for you.
We got some opposite ends of the spectrum, but hey, it's all good.
Right. It's all right. Cool. All right. What's topic 2?
Topic 2. Madison Rayne will improve AEW's women's division.
I love Madison. I do. I'm going to do this one with a caveat. I'm going to say sell because I have faith in her. But I'm going to say she's got to have people behind her helping her out. She can't do it alone. And I know people in the chat are saying no sell, and I can't really argue with you, because I think what you're saying there is you probably don't have. It's not that you don't have faith. I don't think in Madison. I think you don't have faith necessarily in people that are above her, which that's why I'm saying with a caveat, because I think she can't do it by herself. She's going to have backing. If whoever is immediately above her, and I don't know if that's Tony Khan, so I'm not calling him out. Whoever is immediately running, I think it used to be Kenny Omega. Omega was running the women's division.
Yeah.
So whoever is over her has to be willing to listen to her advice. If they do, then yes, I will sell it. I'm going to sell it because I hope that they do, but I wouldn't be shocked if it doesn't happen right away. And, if we're sitting here in another 6 to 8 months and we're not seeing changes, then obviously you'll see that nothing came of it. I hope so, because they have some really talented women there. So I hope so. But I wouldn't be shocked if it went either way. I'll sell it because I'm hoping that the reason they brought her in is because their plan is to listen to her. So what do you think, man?
You know what? I'm going to go the opposite. I'm going to say I love it. I'm going to say I sell it.
I love it.
I think this is just timing is everything.
Yep.
Timing is everything. I think the timing of these moves is a direct result of two things happening. I think one, Tony Khan sees the success of the knockouts division in Impact, having done some work with Scott D'Amore. And I think he's seen the return of the women in WWE as a momentum shift. And I'm going to make this bad pun again, but Madison Rayne's influence and impact will carry over to AEW, in my opinion. I think that they will say, how was this done in Impact? How did you guys go from where you were in terms of, best divisions in the world in terms of women to being on top of that, being one of the best, if not the best? How did you go from where you were to here? And I think I think Tony or whoever is in charge, I think they will listen. Is it going to be immediate? I don't think so. I don't think it's going to happen within the next week, the next 2 weeks, but I say give this a month or two, and I think you'll see her influence. And yes, that's another influence pun. I think you'll see her influence on the show. So I have to sell this because I think she can get it. I think she can get this to where fans expect for it to be, and the women on that roster get a little more time. Not necessarily just on Dark or Dark Elevation, that stuff, but seeing more time on Dynamite, seeing more time on Rampage. I think within the next month or so, I think we'll start to see that make our TV screen.
There you go. Good stuff. And I think a lot of you were pretty much no selling it. So, and again, I get it. I totally get it. And Jeff alluded to it too. So we'll see. All right. What's topic number 3?
All right. Topic number 3, OGK, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett will be the next Impact Tag Champions.
This is an interesting one because now we know coming up at Emergence that if Honor No More loses, they are not a faction anymore, basically. They've got to split. Now, if they do split, these guys could still very well stay together. They just won't be part of Honor No More. Well, we also know that the Good Brothers contract is coming to an end. So chances are they're going to need somebody new to take that over. I'm going to sell it. And we had talked about this on our After the Impact show for weeks.
I love it.
That we kind of thought that Honor No More would be moving up the ranks. So yeah, I'm gonna sell it. I think it just makes sense. And then you can have other teams start to come after them. Whether it be the Motor City Machine Guns or whether it be the Bullet Club or whatever that. I think the Bullet Club, I think Chris Bay and Ace Austin are a future. They, I think, are the future champs. Chris Bay needs a belt. Absolutely, he needs a belt. But yeah, I'm going to sell it. I think it's a good choice at this point. The Good Brothers probably not going to be there for very much longer after this pay-per-view or the next one after Bound for Glory, maybe even. So yeah, sell it.
I am going to sell it as well.
I love it.
I think Honor No More will win Friday night. So that's a very early prediction.
Okay.
Very early prediction. I think they'll win it, and these two guys will get their shot against the Good Brothers, and I think we're going to get new champions. And honestly, they can have some great matches from there. The one thing I'll say is, and I don't know. I hope you don't get upset that I don't remember where this comment was, but someone said if they don't return back to Ring of Honor, which is a really good point to make, because if they return, then obviously that takes all of that off the table. But I think it really, I think they're happy where they are. I just call it a gut feeling, but I think they're happy where they are. So
yeah, I agree. I think so too. The networks only want one women's match per night. That's a fundamental problem for AEW Women's Division. Until that can be changed, the women can't truly shine. How many times has Julia Hart been on since joining House of Black? Yeah, they don't mix it up. Well, I mean, to that point, how many times has Thunder Rosa? I mean, she's been on the last few weeks, but before that, people were saying, where the hell's the champ? Where was she? But if you're only going to have one match a week, it's hard to do. Jade Cargill was getting a lot of airtime for a while there. Now she's really not on the show much anymore. Yeah, it's hard. And yeah, I get it. They have dark and stuff like that, but it's not the same thing. So yeah. Well, there you go. That is our sell or no sell debating segment. Hope you all enjoyed it, and thank you for playing along. We appreciate that, and thank you for more and more. We're getting more men. I had like 60 some people in the chat. We went a little bit earlier there, so that's awesome. Thank you guys,
and thank you for the folks joining us on Twitch too.
Yes, those are out there in Twitch and Facebook and wherever you might be listening. Yes, thank you. Make sure that you subscribe if you haven't. Make sure you put a like on the stream before you go. And also make sure you hit the notifications button as well to be notified when we have a future content. All right. I think we're at the what to watch for segment.
Yes, we are. We are at that segment, and we talked a little bit about it, Joe. But yeah, we got Emergence.
We got a pay-per-view this week. I like the little thing with the clicker. Speaking of the clicker, and since this is a what to watch for segment, we could talk about watching, of course, wrestling. But I watched Predator Prey. Amazing. If you have not seen it, watch it on Netflix. It's so freaking awesome. Best Predator movie since the first one, hands down. Also Sandman. Those of you who've read the books, I have not, but Sandman also debuted. I'm sorry, Predator is on Hulu. Sandman is on Netflix. So so just some other things to check out when you're not watching wrestling. Two big debuts of two big series that were talked about for a long time. So big stuff. But yes, we have a pay-per-view this coming Friday, which we will be doing a watch-along for, of course. Friday, August the 12th, of course, this is Emergence. It's been building up for a good long time. There are some amazing matches already out there for this. We've got Violent by Design against Chris Sabin and Kushida, which was just announced. We have, of course, like Jeff was talking about, we have Honor No More against the Bullet Club. So the Good Brothers, Ace Austin, Chris Bay, and Hikuleo going up against the members of Honor No More. And if Honor No More loses, they must disband. We have Taya Valkyrie and Rosemary, along with Jessica. They're going to lose. Going up against VXT. That's Deonna Purrazzo and Chelsea Green for the titles. I'm not thinking that's going to turn out really well. We have Bandito going up against Ray Horace, which is an attraction. They're calling it an attraction match, AAA attraction match. So that's big, something completely new. Yeah. Of course, we have Jordan Grace defending her title against Mia Yim. And we have Josh Alexander defending his title against Alex Shelley. Which should be absolutely tremendous. We still haven't gotten, I don't think we've gotten anything with Macklin and Moose and Sami Callihan confirmed yet, or did we? And I just didn't get the graphic. We could have.
I don't remember seeing anything.
Yeah. We're gonna definitely get matches on Thursday. We know we will.
Oh yeah. I mean, without fail, because Scott D'Amore and Impact hate my guts. So
Yep. They don't like Jeff to have all the graphics that he needs, so they hold off. So we'll probably get at least one or two more matches announced on this coming Thursday. So Emergence should be good. The card is really good for it. Looks stacked. They're going up against the big boys. They're going up against SmackDown, which has got a lot of stuff going on there. Going up against Rampage as well. So make sure you come out and check it out. I know there's other wrestling on. I also have faith that you guys can watch multiple devices. You've all told us that you've done so in the past. You're going to have to be our roving reporters for the evening because you're going to have to let us know what's going on in these other shows. So come out. Check out Emergence. It looks like a great show. Join us on Thursday or Friday. We're going to be there at 7:45 start time. So come out and join us. It should be really, really good. And if you haven't come out and watched Impact Wrestling or have watched Impact Wrestling, please give it a shot. I really, really think you'll enjoy it. I know it's hard to jump on a new show. I did it when Jeff was telling me about it. And like I said, to this day, it's one of my favorite shows to watch. And I'm really, really happy that I did. So if you haven't watched it in a while, please do. I think you'll enjoy it. Come out and check us out. Abaddon gets her TV match for Halloween once a year. Yeah. I feel like David Letterman. I remember watching David Letterman used to do that. Dave used to do that. Used to do that a lot. Taya. Love Taya. I love Taya too, but I just think Jessica's going to screw them out of those titles. Impact is awesome, says Christopher. If Alex, Shelley, and Josh is even half as good as Shelley and Sabin, I'll be happy. Oh, yeah, that match was amazing. Macklin versus Sammy. Did they announce Macklin versus Sammy? Okay. So if that's happening, then you'd probably know that Moose is going to interfere in that somehow. So Bandito, got to see him. That guy is legit. Yes, it's going to be a great show. So make sure you come out and check us out. All right, moving on.
All right, let's see. What do we have next? Oh, that's right. We've got a Book a Wrestler segment, and we might be talking about someone that Joe mentioned earlier in the show. So we're going to book a wrestler.
Bum, bum, bum. Who is it? Who is it? Book a Wrestler this week is about Killer Kelly. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Anyway, I think I might have to let Jeff. I'm getting verklempt. I'm getting a little verklempt. I might have to let Jeff go. Yeah, I've got some thoughts on this. Her debut was amazing. The way that they did that, I don't think I've ever quite seen that done before. They had two, new wrestlers that they haven't had there from another company wrestle one another. And they had Tasha Steelz with Savannah on the outside watching as it was going on. So I didn't know what it was. I'm like, who are they doing this for? Are they going to face Tasha Steelz? Are they going to, I didn't know what was going on. And then all of a sudden she comes out and just wipes the mat with the two of them. So it didn't even matter who won. She just took both of them apart. It was a very impressive debut and very different. And man, I think she's got a lot of stuff going, but I'm gonna let Jeff start it out, and I'll let you know what they should do as far as booking Killer Kelly. So Jeff, what are you thinking?
Honestly, I really like the direction that they're going in with her. I love the vignettes that they had. Love the vignettes. But honestly, I wouldn't go the same route that they've gone with Masha. I would start her up near the top and have her work her way through, because I do think she is a strong challenger for Jordynne Grace. Honestly, I could see this happening. I could see Killer Kelly getting the belt before Masha does.
Okay.
I don't know why, but I have a feeling that I could see that happening before Masha gets the belt. So yeah, I mean, I think what they're doing thus far is really good. I would have her work with a couple opponents that might be lower tier or newcomers, glorified squash matches, but I wouldn't waste any time. I'd put her right in the title picture, and yeah, I just let her run wild.
Yeah, so I think I like the point about Masha. I don't think you want to have her going up against jobbers every week. I would have her be tested right away and show exactly how good she is. Savannah was out there watching, put her in there with Savannah.
Mm-hmm.
Have her beat Savannah Evans, and have it not be all that close. That will establish her as a dominant force already. So yeah, absolutely. I would want her chasing a title. But if you want to have something a little different, if they're going to keep Jessica for a while, she would be an amazing member of Decay down the road. Mm-hmm. Amazing. And it wouldn't even be hard to do. She comes in and she almost plays that like psychotic. You can see like she's got that little bit of a, the smile and stuff like that. She's got a little bit of that psycho in her. And I dig that. She can easily do that kind of stuff. So she'd fit in with something like that. If you want to do a storyline and have something a little more on the supernatural side, we could do that as well. I would love to see her in a match with Su Yung. Love to see it if Su Yung came back. And they had mentioned in our stream last week that Su is scheduled to wrestle. So if she's on her way back, I'd love to see that as well. She's just got something about her. She has good charisma, great ring skills. You could just see that you can definitely see her as a championship challenger without a doubt. So whoever's going to have that, whether it's Jordan Grace, I'd love to see her in a match with Deonna Purrazzo. Yeah. Love to see that as well. So I just think that we haven't got a small sample of her. We've only seen a couple of promos, and then we saw that one where she beat up the two people that were there. We haven't seen much of her yet. So I think she's going to be a big factor in the women's division. Just another great athlete in that already amazing knockouts division that they have. And I'm excited to see what they do with her and excited to see where she goes. Cause I think she's going to be awesome. And however they choose to do it, Jeff Sway was talking about if they're going to push her right to the top, I'm fine with that too. But I think it's going to be an amazing run for her. And I'm really excited that she's there. So awesome. Absolutely. Awesome. Joe and Jeff, tell this is a good idea. I love faction. Put Killer Kelly with Violent by Design and have her be a Rhea of the group.
I like that.
Ooh, okay. All right. Yeah, I could see that. If I was booking her, I wouldn't have had her starting like that. I'd have had some sort of tournament for number one contender. Let her prove her ability in meaningful matches, come in as a wrestler, then develop the character side more. Okay. All right. Sounds good. There you go. You guys are booking away. Steven wants to know what's up with Brock. Brock's gone, at least for now. I'm sure you might see him back at some point, but he's going to be gone for a little bit. And maybe, who knows? Maybe he'll come back at some point. He's taking time off. Yep. All righty. That's our Book a Wrestler segment. For those of you who enjoy that, and you would like to see us book a wrestler of your choice, let us know. You can either let us know in the chat, in the comments below this video. You can let us know via Twitter or whatever social media platform you watch us on. Send us a message and let us know. And we can certainly pick one of yours and do one of your favorites in that Book a Wrestler segment. So very good. All right. I think we got, is it favorite moments time?
Favorite moments of the week, buddy.
Favorite moments of the week. Let us know. What are your 3 favorite wrestling moments of this past week? Let us know in the chat. Doesn't matter how you do them. You can put 3, 2, 1 in one thing. If you want to put 3, follow along with us, whatever you want to do. But yeah, play along. What were your favorite wrestling moments of the week? All right, Jeff. What is your number 3?
Man, my number 3 moment of the week, I've got to say, is seeing Montez Ford getting that opportunity against Seth Rollins. That was big, and he looks the part, he talks the part, but can he go? And the answer is yes. So seeing that just further, it just makes me feel like at some point he's destined for something as a single star.
That's a great shout. Yeah, that would have been one that could have been lost in the shuffle a little bit. That's a great shout. Yeah, absolutely. Come on, chat, play along. What were your 3 favorite moments of the week? My number 3. I'm going to go to, now remember, we got SummerSlam in this week. So I'm going to go to SmackDown. And I'm going to say the Ricochet starting the night. I've always respected Ricochet. I think he's great. Mustafa Ali as well. I think they're 2 very, very underrated wrestlers that are on that roster. And the fact that they brought him out, and I love the way they did it. They had Corbin in the back. He was bitching and moaning. And then, he goes up and confronts, and Ricochet confronts him and says, I'll meet you out there. Took the challenge on, goes out, and he had a stellar match. It was a really good match between those two. And, definitely the underdog in that. Corbin's, much bigger individual. So you kind of had him set as the underdog. Corbin's pissed off. And Ricochet showed out, as he always does. He's a guy that really needs to be highlighted more. He needs to be in more matches. He's a guy who, as Jeff mentioned, can benefit from more emphasis put on certain titles, whether that be the Intercontinental Championship or whether, he's a guy who can get involved in that kind of stuff. So he should be a staple of that show. And I thought it was great. The fact that he kicked off SmackDown was awesome, because it shows to me that they're going to hold these people in higher regard, and they're going to do some different things going forward. So that was my number 3. Book Karrion Kross, Deanna says. Take that into consideration. Montez versus Rollins was awesome. Chris Williams says 3, Montez and Seth, and Edge's spear to Dominic. Yeah, don't forget about that. Yeah, the errant spear that happened on Raw. And the cliffhanger. Yeah, the show ended on a cliffhanger. How about that? Haven't seen that for a while. Derek saying his all 3. So Raw and SmackDown booking was 3. Bayley, Io, and Dakota was 2, and Cross and Scarlett was number 1. Alexa Bliss Gamer says the women's brawl on Raw. Okay, yeah. Alexa versus Asuka while it was going on. Yep. Dakota and Io returning. Gus says Pat McAfee throwing the ball to the fan. Yeah, but he punted the football into the crowd. That was cool. And that was an interaction with him and Ricochet. So that was cool. Bayley's return and Cross's return. Big Dan says Becky Lynch turning baby face. Bayley's return to a tie. Brock wrecking the ring in SummerSlam with a tractor, and Karrion Kross and Scarlett coming back. Ricochet was kicking Baron Corbin's butt. What was Bayley faction number 3, Karrion Kross number 2, and Scarlett. Brock wrecking the ring. Hey, Boomers, how are you? Kross's return, Bayley's return, and U.S. title being elevated. Said Nathan Salas. That's a good shout. That's a good shout, that U.S. title. I love that. I love the promo, how they did the promo, and they showed I love whenever they show their past stuff. I really do. It makes it just seem a lot more important. Yeah, I love that. That's a great shout. Io Sky versus Bianca, the gauntlet on Raw. Yeah, how about the 2 gauntlet matches? Yeah, that's a great shout, too. Ciampa wins, and also SmackDown was fun. Ricochet versus Corbin was good, and Kross's return. Number 1, Kross and Scarlett. Number 2, Io, Bayley, and Dakota. 3, Brock wrecking the ring. Ricochet got yeeted. Said bonus, baby. Ricochet beating Corbin. Karrion Kross returns, and Brock wrecking the ring. Montez versus Seth. Roman versus Brock, and Karrion Kross's return. What did Kross do to get to a match? Oh, there's always one. You know what? Goodbye. See ya. Brock Lesnar wrecking the ring at SummerSlam. Bayley number 2, Io Sky and Dakota Kai returning. Karrion Kross returns with Scarlett. NXT Kross and Scarlett show up on the main roster. Brock with the tractor. Bayley's return and debuts of Dakota Kai and Io Sky. Cliffhangers are back. No Theory. Chris doesn't like Theory and said no Theory last week. Tag team championships on NXT. Yeah, a little NXT shout. There you go. Yeah, new tag team champions we got on NXT last week. PCO and oh my gosh, RK Shuttlesworth, great call. PCO and Gallows match. Yes. PCO going through the ring was my moment of the week. Just made me burst out laughing. Haven't been excited to watch Raw. This excited to watch Raw in years. IC title belt match for next week. Last time I was excited for Raw was 2007. All right. Well, there you go. Number 2, Jeff. What's your number 2?
Number 2. So many people threw out some good ones.
Mm-hmm.
Those were really good. Gotta shout out all the returns and SummerSlam for my number 2. Bayley, seeing her back from injury, getting Io Sky back. I don't mind the name change. I think it's kind of cool. And seeing Dakota Kai, and then obviously getting Kross and Scarlett. That was awesome. So yeah, that's my number 2.
Okay.
my number one is for selfish reasons. So just gonna say that before I go there.
My number two is I'm going, and some people in the chat already said this, but the PCO versus Gallows match. Oh my God. You know what? I'm going to combine this because the other one that I would have said would have been, So let's call this my number two of the week is the wrecking of the ring. The wrecking of the ring. So I'm going to say both things that I saw that wrecked the ring, and that's PCO and Gallows, and of course Brock Lesnar with the tractor. Both things are just things that you just don't see. How many times do you see a guy go around and snip the floor mat off the ring, pull the whole thing up till you see bare wood, go into the ring and get put right through the wood 2x4s, and then come back out? That match with PCO and the Big LG was just fantastic. If you haven't seen it, it's really, really good. Nick Bruner 728 from Twitch. Hello. That was just a really fun match to watch between these two big men and just somebody went through a drum, for God's sake. The Big LG went through a drum. And then of course the creative that came up with the thing with the tractor. And who knows if that was planned before? We don't know. But whoever came up with the thing with the tractor, bringing that down to the ring, was just brilliant. You really have to be careful because things can happen with that. That's got a blade on it. Mm-hmm. So it's not like, Roman was inside that at one point. So you really got to be careful with what you're doing. So that takes a lot. And then the fact that he just pulled the damn ring right up off the floor is really cool. I've seen a lot of things in watching wrestling over the years. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like that. So that was really cool. So that's my number two. Wrecking the Ring is my number two. Solo Sikoa versus Von Wagner Falls Count Anywhere match. New faction for Bayley and Cross's return. Bayley, Io, and Dakota return. Brock Lesnar wrecking the ring. Cross and Scarlett returning. Ethan Page promo. A little shout out for Ethan Page. He's a new character joining with Stokely on Dynamite. Insider show. Well, thank you, Jeremy. That's nice of you. Brock wrecked the ring and PCO versus Gallows. Yeah, the Ethan Page thing. Listen, he needs a change. The man has charisma. The man can do it. Give him a chance. Yeah. Mark, I was thinking about crossovers. Triple H said creative. Could we see crossovers between WWE and NXT? Maybe. We did before. They were sending people down from the main roster in NXT. PCO learned that from George the Animal Steel. Brock Tractor number 2, Sami Zayn and Usos tease a face turn for Sami. SmackDown and Cross return. Yeah, and the inside. Oh, thank you, Chris. Is Sami gonna turn? He's kind of getting used by the Usos now. So, is the honorary Us gonna turn face? Maybe. Derek says Ethan is too damn good. Yeah, too damn good not to be being used. Yeah, I agree. All right. We're at our number one. Jeff, you said you have a personal one for number one. So
I have a personal one. Yeah, I have a personal one and don't really care if it's selfish at this moment. But
good.
Doggone it.
I know what you're going to say, I think. Go ahead.
Yep, it's my number one. And dang it, Impact Wrestling is coming to Albany, New York, and I'm excited. I cannot wait. It was so close. It was so close. Slammiversary.
Yep.
And we didn't get a chance to go.
Very sure.
Was it Slammiversary or was it Rebellion? It was Rebellion. Never mind.
Rebellion. Yeah. Yeah.
Rebellion. Didn't get a chance to go. So close. I beat myself up after that. I was like, never going to get to see it. It's going to be like a year or two before they come back that close. And to find out that it's in my backyard, essentially, oh, man, I'm so pumped, so ready for it. I get to take my son. It's going to be – my daughter's going to go too, but she won't be as excited as my son. But yeah, I am so excited. So excited that Heroes Hideout is a part of it too. So shout out to them. So yeah, that's my number one.
That's awesome. I'm really excited about my tickets that I have for Raw in November. Because it's been the first time I've been to a live show in forever, and now the prospects of that. And if they do put Wyndham back on that show, I may get to see him live for the first time. That would be amazing. And so, yeah, that's awesome. That's all. Hey, that's what wrestling is. It's personal. It's personal for everyone. So it's awesome. Claudio versus Takashita last night. But I watched the match. Yeah, it was a good match. Very good match. Listen, Claudio will never give you a bad match. He will never. He's just good. That's what he is. He's good. And yeah, it was a great match. PCO cutting the ring, going over to LG and blasting him with a trash can, then calmly going back to cutting the ring was gold. Commentators made it better. Let's see. Number 3, Brock crazy tractor wrecking. 2, Triple H bringing back release stars. 3, Team Taz split. And end AK Hook as FTW champ. Yeah, good calls. Yeah. No more Team Taz. That's right. He broke them up. He broke them up on the show. I'm going to be waiting for Impact or AEW both to come to Vancouver. Number 1 Impact coming to Albany, New York. NXT for Santos Escobar return and a new NXT Women's Tag Champion Casey and Caden Carter. And insiders, again, IDC, you guys are legends. Well, thank you, Chris. You're awesome. You're awesome. For those who have not heard of it, Heroes Hideout is a comic book store like that. Well, not just comic book. They're like a collectible store.
Yeah.
So they do all kind of stuff like that, but they get big name wrestlers there all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's essentially what they are. They're in a mall in Albany. So yeah, that's what they are.
Yep, they're in both malls in Albany. They have a big location in one mall, Colony Center, where they do most, if not all, of their meet and greets. As a matter of fact, Savio Vega is going to be there. The Godfather, the New Age Outlaws. I mean, there's just a ton of people coming. Allison Kay and Marty Bell are going to be there next weekend, Joe.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's awesome. They have some great stuff, and then they have like Joe said, the collectibles, the figures, the pops,
Funko Pops.
Yeah, they have all that stuff. So yeah, it's cool.
You can look them up on Facebook. They're on Facebook. You can type in Heroes Hideout, and they'll pop up on your Facebook.
Yeah,
I should hold up an airing of Grievances sign at Raw. That would be funny. That would be funny. That'd be funny. Cole turns on the Bucks. Damn near thought I was going to see Kenny back. I did too. Yeah, I did too. The Trios tournament is going to be great. Hopefully one day Impact will return to the UK, but I'm not holding my breath. Yeah, it'd be cool if they went back overseas for some stuff. Jeremy is Bray tweets, LOL, Triple H taking over and airing of Grievances. And also, all wrestling has been fun. And a big announcement, women's tag team belts return. Yeah, that's true. That's another good one. They're bringing the women's belts back. That, to me, screams Sasha and Naomi. Whether they're going to come out to take part or whether they're going to maybe at the end of the event, they're going to say, okay, now whoever wins the event has to beat the champs because they never relinquished their titles, which they didn't. So, yeah, I wouldn't be shocked at all if we see Naomi and Sasha back, and it could be as soon as Monday. Man, my number 1. Well, I always look out at this as being mark out moments for me. So my mark out moment was definitely without a doubt Karrion Kross and Scarlett. And I know a lot of you have said it, and I have to agree. I was trying so fast when I saw that appear and I heard the music and I was sitting there going, what? And I'm trying to pay attention. I'm fumbling for my phone because I'm like, I got to get pictures. I got to get pictures of the screen. So I'm like grabbing my phone. I'm snapping as many pictures as I can. And then I'm trying to watch it as well. And I'm like, that was insane. It completely took me by surprise, which I absolutely loved. I know the rumors were out there, but no one at all. And I read all the same dirt sheets you guys do. Trust me. No one at all said that he was going to be at that show. No one. And I figured when reading and they were saying that it's a possibility they're going to bring him back, I thought at least, okay, maybe that's another month out or however long it's going to be. But when he showed up, how he showed up, and then, of course, Scarlett, The whole thing with the hourglass was going back on. It was the NXT Kross back again. Comes out and devastates Drew McIntyre. And then the hourglass is put in. Roman is being stared at by him. And then he's looking at Roman, pointing at his watch, going, tick-tock. Fantastic. Fantastic. And it just tells you. And the other reason it was a markout moment for me is because it just tells you how much things are changing and how much things could still change. Guys, look. Be it as it may, what fan of wrestling that you are, whether it's AEW, whether it's Impact, whether it's our Ring of Honor, whether it's MLW, AAA, any of those names you see up there on the screen, NWA, New Japan, whatever it is, this is going to be the year of the fan. Especially now with WWE getting back to trying to change things up. It's not, like Jeff said earlier, that boring 3 hours that you're trying to find it hard to make it through. Now you can go into that almost wondering, what are we going to get tonight? As some of the people said, the gauntlet matches. What are we going to get tonight? That's exciting stuff. That's my number one. C said, Dirt Sheets keep saying these returns are all very last minute. Are they really? You see the amount of merch Kross had? Yeah, I don't think that for a second. They have that all planned. You couldn't get that stuff that quickly. You have to send those things to the people who make them and get the designs and all that kind of stuff. Now, some of it is concept art, of course, but it still has to be done. It has to be planned. They're not going to just go boom and throw that up without there being some sort of plan in place. So I don't agree with that. I think that's stretching the truth. Someone took a sub to C wrestling sign to SummerSlam. Yeah, I saw that. That's really cool. Made it on TV a lot, emailed me and showed it off and explained genuinely most insanely epic moment of this entire YouTube journey. Yeah, that'd be amazing. Yeah, that'd be amazing. Seeing yourself up there. That's a big thing for any content creator. I know LaGreca's always bragging when people are holding up LaGreca heads in the crowd. That's a big thing. Yeah, that's a big thing. Maybe someday. Maybe
we'll get there.
Or, you know what I could do? I could just go to Impact, make it my own, and hold it up. I could just hold it up. Insiders are amazing. They'll probably think it's their insiders, so it wouldn't really do us any good. But, yeah. So
you know what? That deserves this.
Right? They'll think it's there. They'll be like, that's our insiders. He's talking about the people that go in our chat.
Yep.
Anyway. We try. All righty then. Well, there are our favorite moments of the week. And now I haven't seen Jessie, so I don't know if Jessie's here. I haven't seen her tonight, so she might not be showing up. So we might miss our lighter side thing, which I'm sure C would be very happy for. C kind of stuck around, so maybe that's why. Maybe he realized there is no Jessie tonight, and he could relax and not be put to sleep and all that stuff. So, but yeah, I'm not seeing Jessie, so I don't know if we're gonna get our lighter side of the ring tonight. C saying, "Thank the Lord." See, now that just vaulted to C's number one moment of the week. Number one moment of the week for C is that Jessie did not make the Insider show. When you guys make it big, I'd love to have a job doing something. Just saying. Derek, you will be our correspondent to Mickey James.
Yes.
You'll be our correspondent to Mickey James. Tuesday is my birthday, says Alexa Bliss Gamer. Well, happy birthday to you ahead of time.
Are you going to be at Abby's tomorrow? Because if you are, I'm going to save this until tomorrow. Just shout it out in the chat tomorrow. If not, then I'll hook you up tonight with the drop.
Alexa, he's talking to you. Are you going to be at Abby's window tomorrow?
You know what? It's going to be your birthday. You deserve it. Here you go. Here it is.
Happy birthday to you.
There you go. There you go. Deanna says Jessie will send jokes just to see wrestling. Derek says, I love it. Deanna, she does daily. I just ignore her, like most Twitter trolls that think they're funny. Derek's birthday's Wednesday. Oh my gosh, we got all these birthdays happening. We got all these birthdays.
What? Derek, here you go. And this is for you, James Grant, too, because James Grant's birthday is on Thursday. So here you guys go.
Happy birthday to you.
There you go.
Get all these birthdays. C says, Joe has heard this song 325 times. Just for him. Already. Why did it correct it to Sleet? I don't know. I kind of avoided the Sleet. I knew that wasn't supposed to be there. Cora Jade, heel turn. Bad guys. Heel turn, guys. Number 1. So there you go. All of us August birthdays, I swear, says James Grant, right? Do we know where Bray will show up? Well, no. We really don't. We really don't.
We'll talk about it tomorrow, though.
Yeah, they will. Yeah, we got to save that for Monday. Got to save that for Abby's window tomorrow. Dan says, Joe, totally agree about Prey. It was fantastic, and Sandman is brilliant. Good thing it wasn't on HBO Max. It would have been flushed down the toilet like Batgirl was. Well, all right. Let's just go over the scheduling for the rest of the week, and we'll get you guys out of here a little bit earlier than normal. So, all right. Tomorrow, obviously, Abby's Window, 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can see it up there on the board. Make sure you join us. Could we get it to 1,000 views? We had over 900 views on that video, which was one of the biggest Abby's Windows we've ever had, probably going back to when we had like Kyle Scarborough and stuff on the show. So one of the biggest Abby's Windows we've had, and that's considering that Bray's not even been, or Wyndham's not even been around. So that's pretty awesome. So make sure that you join Jeff and Jody tomorrow at 6 p.m. You'll hear both of them talk about the tweets we mentioned early on in the show. And obviously they're not cryptic tweets. So it'll be interesting to hear what Jody has to say about it. And I'm sure Jeff and Jody will go all over the stuff that you're asking about Wyndham and where he's going to be. It's hard not to say Bray, Deanna. It really is. But where he may go, when he's going to come back, they will talk about all that stuff tomorrow at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you join them for that. Nothing Tuesday, nothing Wednesday. We'll be back on Thursday for Impact Wrestling. So 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time starts the watch along for Impact. That is a go home show for Emergence. So you don't want to miss an Impact go home show. They are tremendous, tremendous. And listen, we love you guys for coming out to this show as much as you do. Pass the word along and get some people to come out for Impact. Tell them about it. Tell them, those of you who watch, tell them how good it's been. Have them come out to our watch along and check out the show. It's a lousy 99 cents on YouTube. And unless you want the bigger package and get the pay-per-views, it's $5, but it's so cheap. Have them come out for Impact because it's really, really good and they'll really enjoy it. And listen, it's almost like a place like Cheers. Remember the show Cheers? You just have to go a place to get away. Sometimes it's good because you don't get the drama all the time of the people fighting back and forth about who loves what and what's better. You don't get that. So make sure you come out and check that out. After the Impact, we'll have that at 10:15. So once our show ends, we stop, we take a little break, come back at 10:15. We'll be there to do our predictions for Emergence. So that will be a prediction show this week, as we do always when there's a pay-per-view coming up. So join us for After the Impact. We keep you about a half an hour or so and do our predictions. And then, of course, we'll be back on Friday at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Emergence, for the pay-per-view itself. For the Impact pay-per-view, join us on Friday for that. And then, of course, on Sunday, we'll be right back here doing this all over again. Same thing you saw, but we'll have different topics, different book of wrestlers, different things. Maybe Jesse will show up. I don't know. You got to tell a joke in Jesse's. Oh, no, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I'll tell you a joke.
Go ahead, Jeff.
I'll tell a joke. So there's this guy, right?
Yes.
He writes about wrestling.
Oh, God, I know where this is going already.
Fill in the blank. Fill in the blank with your favorite, or in this case, least favorite person. I'm gonna go with Uncle Dave, but yeah, It's not really a joke. He's just a punchline.
Let me see if I can remember this one. Now, this is really old, like me, so it fits. It's a little non-PG, but it's not too bad. All right. See if I can remember how it goes, because I used to tell this one a lot. Okay. Superman was flying around the city. He's flying around Metropolis. And he's kind of bored. He's like, yeah, I've saved the world. I don't know I don't know what else to do. I'm just bored. There's nothing to do. Lex Luthor's in prison. I just have nothing going on. So he's like, let's, I really just I want to go out. I want to have a day for myself. I want to go out and get drunk. So I want to just go get drunk. I want to party. So he flies around. He's like, you know what? Let me go talk to Bruce and Batman. Let me go talk to Batman. Let's see what he's doing. So he flies down, goes into the Batcave. He sees Batman. He's like, yo, Batman. He's like, come on with me. I just need to have a day for myself. I'm so used to doing all this saving the people stuff. I need to have a day for myself. I need to go party. So come on with me. I'm going to go to the bar. We're going to get drunk. We're going to have some beers, do whatever it is. We're going to get drunk. Batman looks at him and is like, nah, you know what, man? The Joker is back on the loose again. I'm just way too busy. I can't go. I can't, So it's like, oh, all right, whatever, fine. So then he leaves and that Batman, he's always involved with stuff. He's a stick in the mud. Doesn't like to do anything fun. So, all right, I'm going to go check it, go look for somebody else. So he goes and flies over the ocean. He looks for Aquaman. He goes down, dives in the water and finds Aquaman. He's like, yo, Aquaman. He's like, yeah, no, you're always up for a good time. Come on, let's go out. Let's have some drinks together. Let's get drunk, right? Aquaman looks at him like, no, you know what, man? Mira's got me doing some stuff down here, down in the things going on. There's earthquakes down. I just can't. I can't get away. So Superman's frustrated now. He's like, you know what? This is like ridiculous. Nobody wants to do it. So, you know what? He figures, screw it. I'm just going to go myself. So he does. Flies around, looks for a small bar, in Metropolis, goes in, sits at the bar, and he has about 200 and some beers, right? Because Superman needs a lot of beer to get him drunk. So he has like 200 and some beers. He just downs a whole bunch of them. He's like, now he's good. He's good and drunk. He got a good buzz going on, right? So now goes back up into the air. Well, now he's, guys get drunk. They get a little, one little action, right? They get a little one. So he's Lois wasn't around. She's out of town, and he's like, yeah. So he's flying around, and he happens to notice up on one of the tall skyscrapers, he sees Wonder Woman. And Wonder Woman is sunbathing up on a roof, right? And he sees her, and she happens to be sunbathing, and she's not wearing anything, no clothes on. She's sunbathing, naked sunbathing on the roof. So he's like, oh man. He's like, if I time this right, I have super speed. If I time this right, I can get down there. I can get, bang, zoom, and be gone. She won't even know I was there. And she wouldn't even know I was there. So he's getting himself prepared. And he's like, all right, now I got to time this. So, I got to time this perfectly right to get this done. So he does, gets everything all going, gets everything ready, and he flies down. Boom, boom, boom. He's gone. Smile on his face. Woo! He goes off into the distance. So Wonder Woman turns around, turns her head to the Invisible Man, who was up on top of her at the time, and said, what the hell was that? And the Invisible Man says, I don't know, but my asshole sure hurts. Little non-PG. Oh, and we got bots. The bots came. I did a non-PG joke and the bots came. That was appropriate.
Oh, God, that was appropriate. That's funny.
Oh, that's an old one, but it suits my age. So, that's what I remember, the old jokes. So there you go.
That's a good one. I was trying to contain myself the whole joke because I know that one. And
yep.
Oh man, that's a good one. That's a classic. That's a classic.
Oh, the bots were listening. Yes, apparently they were. There you go. That's the best I got. That's the best I got. So there you go. All right, guys. Well, on that note, remember you asked for it. So listen, what? Well, now I have to ask C because he's the joke critic. C, where am I on the scale of up to Jesse? I mean, where you got to tell me now. You got to tell me now. Jeremy Hanks says, "Imagine me as a narrator for a Disney film." After that joke, I don't know if you want me doing. I don't know if you want me doing Disney films.
No. I'm not watching. I love Joe. He's like a brother, but I'm not watching a Disney movie with Joe narrating with my kids.
No, I don't think that would work out very well. I remember that one from the Truly Tales. Is that where I got that from? It very well could be because I used to read those books all the time. They were like off limits for young kids. So I remember I used to go into the Walden bookstore. There used to be a whole section of those, and you used to be taking them out and reading them in there because they wouldn't let you buy them. So Brandon says 10 out of 10. Aces, Brandon. Aces. Well, all right. There you go, guys. That is our show for this week. Thank you all so much for coming out. It really means a lot to us because, again, like I said, this is where we started. He said you couldn't be any worse than Jesse. I mean, that's not a high standard. Shit on a stick can be more funny than Jesse, but it was decent. All right. Well, there you see.
Oh, there you go.
Now I'm happy. That's like getting a compliment from Statler and Waldorf from the Muppets, so I'm good. I'm good now. That made my night. I got the joke from a friend a long time ago, and I can't foresee. Well, I'm old. And then sometimes it's good to remember things. Sometimes it's good to be old. You remember things that are old. So there you go. Great stream, says Dylan. Thank you so much. But yeah, we really appreciate you coming out because, again, this is our kind of bread and butter. This is where we started. We started as a podcast, and that's what we do when we have this. Essentially, it's what it is. It's just kind of a rap session that we do with you guys, and we really appreciate you coming out. All right, guys, we are out. Have a great rest of your night. Please make sure to sub to the channel if you haven't done so already. Please make sure you smash the like button. Put a like up on the stream tonight. We'd appreciate that as well. Make sure that you hit the notifications button if you would like to be notified about when we have future content. So as I always say, stay safe. Please be kind to one another. Please, especially on the socials. And enjoy the wrestling tomorrow night. Come back and see us for Abby's at 6 o'clock with Jeff and Jody. Have a great rest of your night, guys. And hopefully we will see you all for our next show. Good night, everyone.